Hey everybody, this is Situation with Creation again, and I'm Creation. And today I want to talk about the situation of starting over. And this is something that I've done in my life, and I would say about 5 years ago, I started over. The reason why I started over is because of how my life was before I got to a place where I was able to live by my faith and it actually works for me. But I want to talk about starting over based on okay, we're born into a world, an existence, or a society that we didn't create. So we grew up in our families, societies, and people that we didn't create or that we have relation with that they were here before we were born, and we don't know anything about living or existence except they teach us, because they were here before we were. And then after 20 years or 30 years, in my case, 40 years, I guess, because I didn't really start over until I was 40, and you start evaluating, based on the good, I wouldn't say good and evil, I guess based on right and wrong. Like we're taught this is the right way to be in society or in life, or, this is the wrong way to be, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't pursue this career, or you shouldn't do this because mommy and daddy were doctors, or mommy and daddy did this, and mommy and daddy did that, so you should just go ahead and do that too, as if you can't have a free will choice to choose what you want to be in life. So a lot of times that's very stressful for someone say that don't fit the societal norm. So, you have TV, magazines, social media that have different types of what is acceptable. So if you have someone who say is a little, bigger, and they don't fit into the demographic, they don't fit into what they're seeing. Like they have no representation in the social media on the TV, and they say, well, where do I fit in? And they're told, oh, you have to look like this, or wear these types of clothes, or this type of makeup, or have your hair cut like this, or listen to this music, but yet it doesn't fit who you are as a person, but you follow along because that's all you know. So after a lot of years of doing that, it's like, well, I don't really find anything as an example of who I am to even, follow and say, okay, that's how I'm supposed to be. Basically, it was a lot of things that I didn't want to be, but I did because that's what was expected. That's what, or you're not accepted if you don't do these things. Or you're a failure because you didn't go get that job, or you didn't do this, or you didn't do that. So it took me a long time to get out of that. And when I finally did, I thought really I could have got out of that a long time ago had I understood that even though I can't, I'm gonna say affect, even though I didn't create the outside environment, right here in my thinking of who I am and who I want to be is where I would start because this is the place where I'm by myself. They don't live in here. I see people, but I can get to myself and just be to myself. So I thought, well, okay, well, what do I want to do if I had free will choice to be who I want to be and not follow the masses? So I thought, well, how do I even start over? Where do I even begin? And I thought, first thing I did was I got to myself and I just sat there and I just, took a breath in. And then I just, not pause like, I'm dying, but like I just thought for a moment, like, who am I? What do I want to do? I know what people tell me to be and I know what they want me to be, but they don't live my life. They're not who I am. So, who am I? Where do I begin? So I took a breath in and I just started contemplating over the different things that I saw and how I wanted to be and what I want. So then I started thinking, well, the things that I want to be and what I want to do, how do I accomplish that? Like, where do I even begin? And I just start over. It's a start over for me. I just reset. Not that I forgot anything that I learned, but I just start my thinking over and start developing a thought pattern based on what I wanted to be. Instead of what, so yes, I hear what they're saying about what I should be and what they want me to be, but it takes some time to build up that confidence and courage to actually be and do the things you want to do that make you happy. Because like me, I was just living to make other people, oh, they're happy, he's so wonderful, he's so nice. That's because I'm doing what you're telling me to do. Wait till I'm doing something you don't want me to do and see if you still think I'm nice. And so I moved all the way to Fargo from Cleveland, Ohio to pursue my faith and do what I wanted to do and be who I am. And I'm telling you that if you pursue your faith and what is right for you, you're going to find that your life is going to change and it's going to be a happier life because it's based on your own decisions and what you want to do. The main thing is to overcome is the idea of what other people think, because you don't have to shut people down and be mean to them, but you can give them the understanding that it is your life and you want to make decisions based on what you want to do. And the way to do that is go out and build a life for yourself. You know, make ways to sustain yourself and your faith and your way of being. Now, it's going to be a little difficult if you're staying with somebody under their rulership saying, I'm going to be me. Yes, you can be yourself, but then that's going to lead to you being on your own and no longer with people, because a lot of times if you don't follow what other people believe to say is right, they're going to reject you and cast you out. So the idea is to, first understand who you are and what you want to be and how you want to feel. If it's a way you want to dress, a way you want to talk, then you start establishing norms that are just for your individual self. And you start building a life based on your decision. If you want to work a certain place, or maybe you don't want to work. There's people out there who just like being homeless and they don't want nothing to do with living in housing and paying rent or going to work. They just like being homeless. Well, more power to them. At least they're happy. I learned that when I went to the homeless shelter. I thought, not everybody who's homeless is struggling. Some of them love to be homeless. And so I thought, okay, so it is based on what you want out of life. And the understanding is you really have to be self motivated, because people are not just going to give you things in terms of making you who you want to be. You're going to have to work for that. You're going to have to make the decision, if I really truly want to be free, if you want to use the word free, or self sufficient, or be who I want to be, you're going to have to make those right decisions, or even those difficult decisions, to go out there and do what you need to do so you can be happy to yourself. Because sometimes that may require you to separate from people who've been friends for years, but when you finally develop a self interest and a self love for yourself and your faith that makes you happy, they may not fit into that lifestyle. They may fit into the lifestyle of you obeying them and getting along with them, going where they want to go, and they're all, your best friend. But then when you start having your own choices and start making your own decisions, they may say, oh, I don't really like that. Why are you not, you're changing, you're different. For the better, yes, I am changing and being different. So today I just want to talk about starting over, and that it's possible to start over no matter where you are, no matter what, situation you're in. Right here is the key, is the place where your individual self has the free will to be whatever you want to. And you can start at any time. You can just sit back, be still, breathe in and out, and just start thinking about, okay, if I could have or be whatever I want to be, what does that look like? You know, how would I act? How would I look? How would I dress? What would I say? And then start writing notes about, have a notebook and just write down the things that you would like to be. And then step by step, it's not going to be overnight. So please don't think, oh, tomorrow I won't be this brand new person. It's going to be a work, because it took me, I've left, 5 years ago from Ohio, and I am now establishing who I am, and that took time. I'm still working at it. I'm no expert. It's an everyday living experience to find that peace within, or that faith, or that way of living that you want to be, that is right for you. So I encourage anybody that's living in a circumstance or a place where they're not happy, take a moment and start making notes about what you want to be and what you want to do, how you want to feel, because nobody can tell you what to do in here. And when you start manifesting those behaviors, make sure they're peaceful. You don't want to go out and, kill people. As I like to be a murderer, let me write that down. No. If you really do that and that's what makes you happy, just understand there are consequences like jail time and, getting in trouble for these behaviors. But for me, it was a peaceful decision. What makes me feel happy and at peace in my life? Who do I want to be? How I want to be? Mine was be a minister and teach people how to find peace within themselves. And, I believe gay is spiritual and that there are spiritual gay people. And that I have a faith that can teach people how to find, to understand who they are as a person within themselves as a gay man or a gay person, because it's not really a gendered idea. Peace is not a male or female, it's a behavior, it's a feeling. And so to me, I was thinking everyone deserves peace. I mean, we are born with with the right, the God given right or creator given right to be at peace. And all it does is take just you to begin with a thought of awareness of what's peaceful for you. And to write down some thoughts and then start implementing those thoughts one at a time. If you can't, you can find like-minded people and ask them how do they live the way they do. Get a mentor, get someone who is in the way that you believe or in the way that you want to be, and start learning from them and see how they begin or how you accomplish that. Because there's plenty of people, because no one is just someone to themselves, and no one's like that ever. There are similarities all over the place. The understanding is to go find those similarities, because in a neighborhood that is not like diverse in Cleveland, of course I'm not going to find people like me. But once I left that neighborhood and got around different types of people, then I start finding similarities in people who were like me, and that's where life begins. So today, the situation of just starting over, I really do encourage people to get to themselves and figure out who and what they want to be if they're not happy with their condition or where they are or the situation that they're in. And again, like I said, if you have questions, go ahead, put them down in the comments, subscribe, do all those wonderful things, that they say to do when you like a channel. And I say, everybody deserves peace, and I would say smile because you are somebody, and you all have a peaceful day. And I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.